Welcome back to another episode of the Baddy Pre-Show podcast. This is Chai, who's going to scream if this recording, if my internet drops again. Rich, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. We're about to kick off week 5 in Baddy's season. This is Swiss stage, so the top 12 are locked in. Now we've got six people competing for seven people competing for a top 4. So it's another nail-biting week, Chai. I'm looking forward to it.
Very exciting. What's nice is that for the upcoming 7, you get to sit back and relax, Mr. Player of the Week, because you qualified to be part of the top 12. Blaze, how does it feel?
Yeah. Thank you. It wasn't easy. A lot of relief. Starting with the Baddy podcast commentator showdown, and then I had 2 off-stream matches. I saw 2 scenarios. Scenario 1, I go 1 and 2, and I'm eliminated, or I'm playing in Switch stage. And then scenario 2, I would go 2 and 1 and just barely get by with the skin of my teeth. But none of those scenarios happened. I actually got all 3 wins.
Won all 3. That's why
secured my spot.
I couldn't find any other people who really did end up winning all 3 of their games. It was a pretty tight weekend, but you were the one. So very easy. A very deserving player of the week. Blaze, I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I will say, though, I am looking forward to playing you again when there are no restrictions on your stage picks. I'm going to take the W, and I'll hold on to it.
You know, you say it like that, but the only place I beat you was Castle Siege.
That's true. That is true. But I want a no restrictions matchup against the podcasters.
That sounds fair.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
No restrictions and no losses is not something has continued on through the week, Blaze, because your team at the Chai Invitational, your reward for placing in the top 12, you got to compete. Your team won. Team KingJoker took it. Blaze, how did you feel about this crew battle? How did you do? And how does it feel being on the winning side?
Yeah, this is a pretty historic crew battle in Baddy history. Because, I think I lost 3 stocks and took 3 stocks. Nothing really impressive with my Incineroar.
That's called doing your job.
Hey, I'll take it, But this was the first, I'm going to say, it's the first Baddy crew battle that KK has lost. And it's all thanks to our Yif Lord and Yif Savior, Reaver, who finished off with 1 stock remaining, and we had duds in the pocket. But Reaver ended up taking the W in the last match.
Stocks. He took 7 stocks.
I'm impressed.
1 of KK's, 3 of Lars, and 3 of fraud DPGs playing Pit. It didn't look good. The Pit looked really bad.
So I think this is the second crew battle I've been a victory of. Of course, the last one was the reverse main crew battle.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a big moment in Baddy history. We'll see if we can have some more historical moments moving forward.
Congrats to Blaze. Congrats to KingJoker.
Congrats to Reaver. Congrats to Duds.
Duds didn't even get to play. Poor fella.
Congrats to LPJ.
She had to go on a date.
Yeah.
So I'm glad
wins for the whole team.
Get it done out of the way. Yeah. Congrats to the whole team. On to stock up, stock down, stock weird. I have stocks up on Wellens. Wellens performed so good in the Chai Invitational. He took 5 stocks, which I think is the most on his team. And more importantly, during the regular week, he went 2-0. He beat LPJ and got beat Candy again. I think that was the rematch. He was really impressive to me.
Yeah, those are 2 big wins back to back for week 4. That just that really promotes Wellens in the argument for that number 2 seeding for Baddy Mount Rushmore. Because you'll probably have the discussion: is it Mad Cow, is it Candy Jack, or is it Wellens who gets the number 2 spot if KK has number 1? And this is the most recent stats, so that's really in Wellens' favor. So I think he should be very proud of his performance.
Yeah, very strongly into the number 3 seed. I could definitely see him making it to return to grand finals.
Oh, yeah.
Any stock up on your end? Anyone that really impressed you last week?
Let's see. Well, no stocks up on the guests, our 3 guests. That's for sure.
Oh, we'll be talking about that later.
That was not great. Let's see. Other than that, I should be looking at recordings.
Speaking of it, we'll get to it near the end. But is your dad awake right now?
I doubt it. It is 10:30 where I am.
We'll
give him a call earlier.
We'll do it another time. I actually have a new punishment that won't be revealed until the
bets.
until the end of the show. You'll find out if you listen to the episode. But no stocks up from you other than Wellens?
LPJ probably went 2-1 last week.
Yeah, that's not too bad either.
Bad. Oh, I know what this means.
What do you mean?
Oh, nothing. But other than that,
no, we're still alive, baby. We're still alive.
We're still breathing. Oh, I think she went 3-1. Chris DPG, Heather, and Kaiser.
Yeah, that's 3.
Yeah, that's very good.
Very good. Stocks down. My stock's down. Just picking Terry in trying to use Terry in Baddy Smash is not paying off. He hasn't had a good history up to this point in Baddy Smash, and at a shining moment where 2 people are, who can play the character and have proven to be able to play the character, just stunk on stream. Both me and Chris DPG taking stream losses.
Do you blame Terry for not getting into the top 12?
No, I blame myself for wanting to fuck around because I didn't fully put a lot of thought and weight into seeding, thinking I'd make top 12 anyway. Because I'm so good, I'll make top 12 no matter who I play. No, fuck me, I'm the dummy. Stocks down, Nathaniel Stegan. You dumb fuck.
And Stocks Baddy.
Stocks Baddy. Guests.
The guests.
Guests in general.
Not a great showing from the guests.
It's so cool having guests, man. It's so cool having guests. But a lot of them aren't playing the way we're playing right now, so they're not as polished, they're a bit rusty, and it shows. It really shows.
Who has the best record of our 4 guests so far?
I think Heather.
2-2?
Yeah. Let me check. Because Kits went 1-3. Announcements. Recording. We're professionals. We definitely had this all set up.
No, we're just shuffling through all our podcast notes.
Yeah. Copious amounts of notes.
I think I would rank, if I had to rank our guests between
Heather only won 1.
Damn.
So we haven't had a guest win.
So she ties with Kits.
Yes.
Well, if you have to rank them, you put Kits as 1 for getting the clip, then Heather, then G Harris, and then Zed.
Yeah.
Did G Harris tie with Zed on winning none?
Yes. Pretty positive he didn't win a game. That's rough, dude.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to get him back after a performance like that. And it's hard to think of another, well, we probably won't have another guest since we're approaching the postseason. But, G Harris was one of the higher echelons of guests we had on.
Yeah, you need someone like Mecha T or because at least Mecha T made top 8 at the Baddy Summit. It's he's still got some juice in him.
Okay. Well, maybe we can get the other Harris brother in here, and there's always a chance that we get Alpha Mew. Maybe Ooga Booga can sneak some wins in here. We'll see. Mm-hmm. There's still a lot of Baddy left.
Still a lot. It's definitely not over. But shout outs to guests for at least showing up and making it interesting.
Oh, God, yeah. We are glad they showed up.
So exciting to announce we had a guest and then to announce we had 3 guests. Oh, man. Some people say the sequel can't be as good as the original, but this shit was fire.
Sequels are still hype, though.
Sequels still hype. You know what's really hype, though, Blaze?
I bet it's betting time.
Nope, not quite yet. What's real hype is next week, actually, the first stage of eliminations.
Oh, yeah, that is hype.
The one difficulty is that we do not have don't have a schedule to
Oh, we don't have the
talk
schedule.
about games.
All we know for sure is the
7
one
people
seed
who
will
are
probably play
competing.
the 16th seed, right?
The 1 seed will play the 7th. I mean, there's 7 people, so
Oh, okay.
because remember we're just doing the qualifying Swiss, right? Which
Right.
consists of me, AlbinoJoe, MulletZor, Hook Resets, Cax, Zachman, and Huckletoon.
So we can predict out of the 7 which 4
Which
will
4
be
are getting
advancing.
out.
Okay,
And
right.
we're gonna do our baddie bet a little bit early.
Okay, here we go.
So we're gonna end the show with AlbinoJoe's interview. It's gonna sound weird to not have a sign off, but we're gonna end the show with AlbinoJoe's interview.
Okay.
Spoiler alert. But you lost, and again, it's a little too late to call your dad. Old man's probably sleeping right now.
Yep.
But you lost the bet thinking that we'd have 4 or more wins from our guests on stream. Or 3 or more. Or, yeah, 4 or more. You had confidence.
That didn't work out.
Didn't want to work out. Now, I have a lot of power as the editor of this production, you know? It's a lot of shit I can do. During our interview with AlbinoJoe, I'm going to edit your voice to sound as goofy as humanly possible.
That's fair.
You're going to have the goofiest sounding filters over your voice, pitch changes, everything. It's going to be, as long as it's audible to understanding what you're saying, you're going to have a goofy ass voice. That's your punishment.
If I lose.
Yeah. No, you lost from last week. We're going to push your dad to next week. No, we're gonna give you a buy on the dad. We'll use the dad one next week. So you don't have to call your dad.
You're saying I don't
anymore.
have to. You're saying you're replacing my call my dad punishment with goofy voice during the interview.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Fine.
And we'll use the dad one for the upcoming bet, which is pick 4 people. We can't have the same lineup. And I already showed you. I think I already have in the show notes my lineup. You know, we're talking about the matches of the week. We'll make a bet on those matches and the real ending result. Who's getting out? I have me, AlbinoJoe, MulletZor, and Cax getting out.
You have Chai, AlbinoJoe, MulletZor, and Cax getting out.
You can.
Here it
I'll
is.
let you use. I think there's 2 on there that are pretty obvious would get out. But
I have Chai, AlbinoJoe, MulletZor, Hook Resets.
All right.
So I am once again putting my fate in former player of the fucking week, Hook Resets' hands.
So here's what's going to happen.
Because you think Cax is getting in, I think Cal's getting in.
Here's the twist now, because if it's only one person, if both of us are wrong and neither Cax nor Cal get in, we both have to call our dads.
Mom and tell her he's done.
No, Lori's so nice though. Shoutouts to Lori.
What's the actual punishment?
That one will be the call. You call your dad one. We're gonna reuse that and push it to next week.
Okay.
But if we're both wrong, we both got to call our dads.
Whew.
I'm betting it all on Cax. You're betting it all on Hook Resets.
When will I learn?
You will never learn. As someone who's bet on Cax 3 times, big time, you never learn. You always have a favorite that you want to root for. But of all the potential matchup options, is there any matches you're really excited to watch? Is there any that you're really looking forward to?
I really want to see Huckletoon fight for his life at 69% because that is Huckletoon in his final form.
Oh, absolutely.
Whenever he's at 69%, he shows out. You know, the stream goes crazy. Zachman Plant, I want to see how far he can take it. Will Cax revive the hero in Switch stage? Is he willing to top deck when his life is on the line? That's what I want to see. And I want to see the former glory of Joey. He used to be top 8 guaranteed. Now he is top 8, not so much. And we'll talk to him about it in the interview.
We will. What I really want to see, I learned something not too long ago. Hook Resets hates, despises, loathes Dittos. You know we're getting double cloud on stream if I have to place against him.
That is gonna be an interesting match.
You know we're getting double cloud on stream if that's what I have to do if I have to face him.
You're not gonna reclaim Terry's glory?
No, honestly, few things make me more. I play in Baddy Smash not for glory but for fun, right?
Okay.
And just have a good time. Few things give me less of a good time or give me more of a bad time than getting a wrong input as Terry.
What are the chances that we see Banjo during the Swiss stage?
None.
None.
I'm only playing 2 characters during Swiss with the stipulation that hook resets gets the cloud.
So we've discussed off the show that you can only lose 1 during Swiss stage. If you lose 2, you're basically eliminated.
Mm-hmm.
So even with 1 loss and you lose game 1, you wouldn't go Banjo.
No, it's not my best character.
Okay. All right. I agree with you.
There's 2 characters I want to test out on stream. And then the break-in case of emergency option is Cloud. It's my best character.
And you think Swiss stage is a premier time to test out a stream character?
Well, these characters I've played on, one of these characters you've seen before. You've seen my Byleth before.
Right. Yeah, I've seen it before.
The other one's a secret character.
Oh, okay. All right.
But you've seen the Byleth before. You know it can cook.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. But though I have Cloud in case of emergency, I'll probably play him if like it get to that situation where I somehow have a loss on my belt, and I'm going into game 2 with a loss on my belt as well.
In case of emergency, Square Enix character. I like it.
In case of emergency, up B.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I'm looking forward to next week. That's what Blaze is looking forward to next week. Up next, we're going to close the show out with an interview with the progenitor of the Baddy pre-show content. It is the Palatena Wonder himself. It is AlbinoJoe.
Joey.
We'll get to that right after a quick commercial break.
Ahoy, landlubbers. Set a course for Shiver Me Timbers Lumberyard, where every plank is pirate approved. At Shiver Me Timbers Lumberyard, we're not just any lumberyard. We got a fleet of hardy timber ready to anchor down on your next project. Sail into savings this weekend with our BOGO Plank Special. Buy 1 gangplank, get another free. It's the bounty of boards awaiting for ye. Or cast ye eyes on our Treasure Chest Tuesdays. Dig into our discount bin and find your timber treasure without spending a chest full of doubloons. And for ye early birds, catch our early parrot specials. Arrive with the dawn tide and get 10% off ye entire purchase. Our scurvy-free guarantee ensures a vitamin C fortified shopping adventure. Note, it's just a jest, mateys. So heave-ho and hoist your sails to Shiver Me Timbers Lumberyard, where our prices are steel, but not our timber. Find us off the starboard bow at the corner of Turfway and Dixie. Shiver Me Timbers Lumberyard. Yo-ho-ho, and a bundle of boards.
Welcome back to the Baddy Pre-Show podcast. On with us, a legend in the Baddy content creation. It is one of the progenitors of this show, even before me. It is AlbinoJoe. Welcome to the show, AlbinoJoe.
Shy, you're too kind. Thanks.
So Blaze has a question he always likes to lead off with when he's feeling a little shy.
Oh, I thought there was a... Joey, tell me about your origin story. Clearly you're one of the I'm not going to say one of the founders, but definitely one of the veterans of Baddy. I think it's safe to say, since Baddy started with League of Legends, that was probably how you got into it. But just sort of give the overview for the people that are meeting you for the first time. They don't know the lore. So give us, your introduction into Baddy Leagues.
Oh my god,
I know it was way back. There.
Yeah, we're talking a lot of history. Really, it started with a lot of people from UW Stout, primarily people that I graduated from high school with. So AJS0, who is pretty much the founding father of it all. Zedekis was a big part of a lot of the planning for the original Baddy League of Legends stuff, and that's kind of where it all started and where I started. Unfortunately, I couldn't get into every season of that because when I was in college, I was in Platteville, which is a small, has really awful internet. So I actually was playing on like 150 ping whenever I played League, and I would have to be playing like in the morning because we also shared internet between two houses of like 8 people.
Ooh.
So it was absolutely unplayable after like classes were done for the most part. But I got in after that. Yeah, and League really is kind of where this whole entire franchise started for the most part. Smash, when the game was first released, I just remember AJS coming up to me and just saying like, dude, it's just like Melee, you're gonna love it, you gotta play it, and like just trying to convince me, and I was sold right away when I started playing it because I played Brawl, I've played 4 just a tiny bit, and they both just don't feel like the same game whatsoever in my opinion.
But
So
Ultimate
your
felt a little bit better
first-
for you?
Sorry, say it again.
But Ultimate felt better than compared to the last two?
Ultimate felt so natural. I picked it up and ran with it so hard. I was so I felt like I was there's certain people that when they pick up a game they just kind of they vibe with it and they just do so well. Duds is a person that's a lot like that. I feel like whenever Duds picks up a game, like just if we pick a room of 10 random people and he and we have to compare the skill level upon picking up a game immediately, Duds like probably will beat people if you have 5 minutes to learn something. But I felt like Duds essentially when I picked up this game. So I'm like, yeah, of course I'll play. I'll play in a tournament and see if I can kick some ass, and I did. In the first tournament. In the first tournament.
So the first Smash game was Melee or 64?
I played 64 originally, and then Melee I used to play like I probably sunk like 500 plus hours into that. Actually, way more than that now when I'm thinking about it more. With a good friend of mine back in middle school.
Gotcha. Now, which game did you start at competitively? Did you go to locals, or was Baddy League the closest you got to the competitive scene?
I did some locals with Melee back in high school. I never seriously. But yeah, I'd say the Baddy League was the first like real competitive format where I actually cared about winning. Before it was just more of a social thing, and like it's even still a social thing to me. That's the main reason why I like doing these tournaments. Of course I want to win and everything, but if I take last, I'm not like butthurt about it.
Yeah, because you're hanging out with the homies.
Yeah. I mean, I'm losing to friends. I mean, how upset can I be? That's kind of my mentality on it.
Now, that's with background with Smash, but you have a very unique background in that. Have you played in every single iteration of a Baddy League? Valorant, Overwatch, League, and Smash?
Valorant, yes. Overwatch, yes. League, yes. Smash, yes. I think there's also some side spin-off ones. There's like a mobile league that the Baddy League hosted.
The Rivals League. The I don't even know how the Guilty Gear
League.
Yeah. DB Fighters, Dragon Ball Z Fighters, and Guilty Gears. It kind of felt like a 5-man, just kind of like, hey, whenever you're available, let's do this. But we can call them a league if we want to call them a league.
Back to the question. What was your favoriteest of all those leagues you've been in?
It's so hard to say because each one brings a totally different spin or environment vibe, maybe. they each bring their own vibe. So like when it's a 1v1, that's why I love these fighting games so much, is because it's only you. You're mono, e-mono, or one-on-one, person on person, just trying to win and do cheesy stuff, and you could just kind of like vibe and meme with the guy that you're playing with, or you can just get really sweaty and competitive. So I mean, I really like the 1v1 environment, but like when you're playing like the 5v5 kind of stuff, it's totally different, because there's a weakest link on your team sometimes, and their performance is not going to be up to par, and some players can't like handle that mentally as well as like others. So it's sometimes it's not as fun. It heavily depends on what kind of team you're going to be getting on.
Yeah.
But I think enough of the people that are like harder to play in a 5v5 environment with have not like returned, which gives it, the vibe is good too back.
That's good.
Now that the League of Legends stuff is kind of back online too. But I really like the one-on-one, because you can just, I mean, heck, when I lost to KingJoker, like I think he was one of my first matches this season. I was just going like, "Oh, dude, you're actually freaking good." And then I just messaged him after the second match. I'm like, "You didn't have to do me like that with that snake. Are you kidding me? He's trying to kill me with a grenade. Come on."
I mean, now the news is leaked that we know who KingJoker is, so it's no surprise he's that good. But
I don't know. I like it. I may or may not have told him immediately after losing our match, he better beat KK.
that would have been perfect for a segment, Baddy Conspiracies, that we used to have as co-hosts of this podcast, AlbinoJoe. What was your favorite part of being the Baddy Cafe creator? One of two.
I enjoy the extracurricular. I like the added social aspect. Like when you're trying to make a community around something, you need to have something to flock to. You need to have something that everyone's kind of like, you're able to get to know, get the scoop on things, and having something like that, like a podcast, or people that just make memes. I remember Jim Bone
Making diss tracks
and all that kind of stuff. Like he was just that stuff. That's what makes a community so vibrant and so into it. And I like either being a part of that, or even being the reason for it.
Yeah.
I'll never forget my debut season listening to the podcast and just kind of this empty feeling I would get, feeling like a nobody. I and AlbinoJoe talk about Lars, Candy Jack, Kaiser, Reaver, and it's just like, damn, like how do I get in this inner circle? And then finally, I'm listening to the podcast one day, and Chai's, I think it's a tier list episode, and Chai's like, all right, well, if you think that you can, if you've got a better tier list than mine, we'll invite you to the show. You can do whatever and you can speak your piece, blah, blah, blah. So I just scour all Baddy logs, just like, okay, here are all the recorded wins and losses of the past 28 people that have played in Baddy, just like tallying, just like going through season 2, which was like 11, 13 weeks, just like an unreasonable amount of time. Just like, all right, I'm tallying all these. How many did Slade win? How many did Kits win? And I finally got a chance to just like get on that was the second time I was on the podcast, because you guys interviewed me being a rookie. But yeah, I would definitely agree with Joey that just like that, those side projects and the memes that you create, people making music, even overlays, as well as multiple streamers. I think all that makes a community really, really strong.
Absolutely.
So go ahead, Chai.
I was going to follow up. Blaze, you can follow your thought. I was going to go on to a second question.
Oh, my second question?
I'm going to keep this awkward pause in the recording.
Great.
Delicious.
Okay, so let's talk about.
Go ahead.
Let's talk about. You get to design the next character, Joey, for Ultimate. Sakurai has tried to kill the competitive scene by adding Hero, but then he reaches out to you because he wants to save Smash. So you get to pick any character from League. Who gets in Smash?
Wait, a League of Legends character in
A League of Legends character in
Oh.
Smash.
God. That is a very difficult. It's so obnoxious because, like, given how
Massive the roster is.
yeah, well, it's a massive roster, but Riot really has their poster children, quote unquote, for like who they kind of put out in the front for League of
Oh
Legends.
yeah, there's like Ari and Echo and Darius and
Yeah, and my old ass brain is thinking Rise. He is
the original
absolute-
mascot.
Yeah, the absolute OG of OGest mascots. Oh man, that is so difficult because adapting a moveset too. That's something I really love about Smash is how they've taken these characters and adapted like movesets. Like you watch the Sephiroth in there. It's just like how the hell do you turn a badass boss from a Final Fantasy game like Sephiroth into a character in that whole thing? That's a lot to ask for. Probably Ari though.
Ari?
Ari?
Okay.
Coomer.
I mean, the double jump kind of stuff, like her moveset kind of vibes with
The
what you'd
movement of the game.
find- Yeah, what you'd find in a Smash game.
Imagine, that'd be kind of. I'm thinking about it. It'd be kind of sick because she could dash, like do a dash instead of dashing attack though. Like her running around, you just have the orbs shoot out. Like if you do your initial dash and orb shot out and hit someone.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of sick actually.
Yeah, and her heart is maybe a snooze or something like that. I don't know.
So we were talking about characters that are not in Smash, but let's talk about characters in Smash. Everyone knows the AlbinoJoe Palutena. Few things are more certain than AlbinoJoe playing Palutena. But not 100%. We've seen the Duck Hunt before. Is there anything else we haven't seen that you have hidden in your sleeve just in case?
Oh man, dude, there's a moment where it really clicked hard for me. I want to say this was a little over a year ago. I was playing AJS. We were just doing like friendlies, and I'm just like playing Palutena, and I think I ended up winning that match, and then I switched to I want to say it was like Daisy, because I've really wanted to learn Daisy and like her, the stuff that you can do with the floats and all that stuff. Just a lot of damage can come out of her if you know what you're doing with like down tilt.
Definitely.
And I don't know what I'm doing. And after I played him, I think I want to say he 3-stocked me or JV3. Like it wasn't even a competition. He's just like, how are you so freaking amazing on one character, but absolutely brain dead on every single like cast of this whole fucking roster?
Out of 86 playable characters, your brain only works for one.
Yeah, because it's a totally different game when I switch characters in my head for some reason, and I realized that I'm like, I can't answer that question. It's a different game when you switch to a different character. And Duck Hunt was one of the originals that I really wanted to pick up because I saw a lot of the cool stuff you could do with the beans and throwing, and I still have that down to a degree, but no one is even remotely close to my Palutena. So if you need an answer, I'd say Pac-Man, Duck Hunt, Daisy, but man, if you're playing one of them, you're kind of on a BM ride from me for the most part.
I got you.
Yeah, Palu is one of those characters where it's like, because a lot of characters in the game have like an Echo Fighter or like a pseudo Echo Fighter where it's like, hey, they've got a lot of moves that they share, right? Of course, you got Marth and Roy, and then you got not Marth and Roy, Lucina and Marth, Roy and Chrom. But then I would say the pseudo Echoes is someone like Incineroar and K. Rool, where they share the same down smash, kind of nair, forward air definitely, and they're both big as shit. So it's just like, if you can play one, you can probably play the other. If you can do drag downs with Joker, you can do drag downs with Sheik and Greninja, no problem. But Palutena, it's like,
Nothing really translates.
Her and Byleth have the same nair, but that's all they really have in common. Her and Zelda have the same forward air, but that's about all they have in common. So it's hard to really, when you get tired of Palutena, find something that comes close. So I definitely feel your pain.
Yeah, I never really thought of it like that. And the other issue too is the way that I play her is so not conventional. You know, who in this league in general gets someone off stage then goes back to neutral, you know? Like who in this league, you know, what characters or even specific pilots players do that kind of stuff or try to just hit projectiles off stage, you know, more than just trying to chase them down.
Yeah, that's the unique thing to you. I mean, there's even something in the league called a Joey counter. You have your own trademark move.
That and ladders. I don't see ladders in this league as often as I try to get them. It feels like maybe I'm wrong on that one, but yeah, there's just a lot of. I think that's what, you know. I feel like a southpaw when I'm in the game here because I feel like no one else is really. Really, I test whether or not you can adapt to playstyles because I just have such a goofy playstyle that if you're trying to match me, like you're probably gonna lose at my game.
That's what usually, like, you had like a 3-0 lead on set games against me for such a long time because of that exact reason. I just couldn't mentally adjust.
Yeah.
At the risk of creating a monster, another character I can think of where if you get them off stage and then you just reset neutral is Min Min. Because you could just ledge trap from the middle of the stage.
Don't do this to the league.
Why
do this to the league, Blaze.
Why shoot projectiles? Or yeah, if you want projectiles, use your noodle arm. You know.
Yeah, you're standing in there doing the same thing as shooting fire, except it's
coming out of your arm.
Oh geez, AlbinoJoe's gonna hit the.
Anyway, let's not invest too much time in that. I think Chai's got the last question for you. Go ahead, Chai.
Move on. Don't think about it. Speaking of adjusting your mentality. AlbinoJoe, what's your favorite fruit?
Wow. Probably a raspberry.
Okay. We have my would you rather for you.
Okay.
My would you rather of the week. Would you rather be a raspberry with human thoughts or a human with raspberry thoughts?
I think I already am a human with raspberry thoughts.
Okay, what does a raspberry think about then?
I don't know. What does a raspberry think about?
You said you have raspberry thoughts.
Yeah, you said you had raspberry thoughts.
Oh, okay.
You said you're a human with raspberry thoughts.
Misunderstood the question. Shit. Raspberries probably just think, hey man, I'm trying to survive and thrive out here. And yeah, I guess that's pretty close to my Smash mentality.
So you're gonna stay the course with a human with raspberry thoughts?
I think so. I'm panicking. I don't know. Is there a right answer to this?
I don't think there's a wrong answer.
There's no wrong answer.
Or a raspberry with human thoughts? I mean, a raspberry with human thoughts, to be self-aware as a freaking, like, a fruit? That sounds terrible. Yeah, I'd rather be a human with raspberry thoughts.
If I had to come up with a quote-unquote correct answer, I would want to be a very rare fruit with human thoughts. That way, I would be hard to find, so that I would be alone with my own thoughts, you know, self-aware.
Like, going insane after 2 weeks.
Yeah, for sure. Rather than probably brain dead as a human with fruit thoughts.
That whole self-awareness thing I'm wrapped on though. Like if you're just stationary and you know you're stationary and that's your life until some like bird comes and eats you, nah. But if you're like a human and you're, as you just said, kind of like borderline vegetative state, pun kind of intended there. You know, you're not aware. You don't know what you don't know, and ignorance is bliss. I think that's my final take on that.
But I feel like I would also be ignorant as a fruit with human thoughts. I'm uneducated. I only know about
you are you as you are right now.
Oh, me as I am right now.
Oh yeah, that's an absolute no for me.
So I'm uneducated.
Please, no.
No, I graduated. But no, I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna risk being aware.
So you're gonna be the fruit with thoughts?
Yeah.
I would definitely want to be. I just want to think, fine sun, sit in sun. I'd be a blueberry with human with blueberry thoughts.
I hope I go insane enough where I try to like communicate with the other fruits around me. Don't you see what's happening, man? We gotta get out of here.
Try to start a fruit revolution.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, we got one final question, and it's really not a question. It's just a section. You're familiar with it, AlbinoJoe. It's your stump speech time. Is there anything you want to say to the people out there?
Oh man. Baddy Smash. It's fun. I really love the people that we have in the circle now, like what we got going on for us. You're all awesome. And
see in top 16.
KingJoker might beat KK. I don't know if I'm gonna make top 16. I'm washed. Just don't try against me when you play, so I can possibly win and make top 16 anyway.
I think you're making top 16.
And I guess I gotta practice some min.
Oh, that's my bad, Baddy Smash. That's my bad, Baddy Smash.
Again, thank you for being on the show, AlbinoJoe. It's been a pleasure having you back after all this time.
Oh yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
Smellins 2-0 last week. Pretty clean.
Okay.
He
All
took
right,
5
Smellins.
stocks in the crew battle last week, and he went undefeated in the past week. So he's chilling. He's doing pretty good too. That's my stock.
Wins against LPJ, I'm gonna assume.
And Candy. He had a rematch against Candy.
Well done. Well done.
That's my stock up. Who do you got? Who really impressed you last week? Please. Blaze. Blaze. Please, Blaze. Says my internet.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer? Every night, I can feel my leg, and my arm, even my fingers. The body I've lost. The comrades I've lost. Won't stop hurting. It's like they're all still there.